of the Forsyth Mags podcast. And today I have Dr. Summer with Lewisville Laser and Aesthetics. She's been on a few times before, and we are so happy to have her back. Hey,
Hello,
Dr.
everyone.
Summer.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. So Lewisville Laser and Aesthetics, in case you live under a rock and haven't heard about them, you guys have been around for, gosh, you're celebrating 16 years.
16 years. Our birthday is...
Sweet 16.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our big celebration's next week for that.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. 16 years. So obviously aesthetics is a big part of the business, but tell us just briefly all of the services that you offer. Not every single one,
Well,
but
just
in
summary, really anything that falls in the aesthetic category that's non-invasive. We don't do anything surgical. We do Botox, we do fillers, we do laser skin resurfacing, laser hair removal. We do a lot of acne management and scar management from acne. So really anything that's going to make people feel better about themselves, that's short of surgery. If somebody comes in and we feel like what we have is not going to be enough and you really need to consider surgery, then we're going to tell that person and have them give them some names of some referrals to go.
Yeah, that's what
out.
I love about you guys and your whole team is that you guys are so honest and authentic. Like you're not going to make anybody feel, if it's not a good fit, you'll tell them. And if it's something that's not going to look good on them, you're going to tell them.
Yes, we often have people come in with misconceptions about what they need. They know what bothers them, but they may not be correct about what the treatment is that's going to help that.
Yeah.
So it might be I want Botox for my under eye bags, and well, that's probably not the answer. We have to coach them and talk to them about what is a good answer and what is a good choice, what's going to not only look natural, but also give them the effect that they want.
Yeah. And I think the natural thing is so key. I think people do have a misconception that like, oh, well, if I get Botox or filler, I'm going to look crazy and everybody's going to know that I have it. And that's just not the case.
Right. And we can customize people's Botox results, for example. We have clients who want to move nothing. And we have many more clients who want people to look at them and go, you look rested, not like that they have an ice rink face. So we really do try to keep a little bit of natural movement and make sure that people do know that you have emotions and that you're smiling and that you're happy and not feel like, oh, where is that person in there? It's a blank slate. We don't want that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Filler's another place where the misconceptions they abound. Every week I have somebody come in dead set against filler. They don't want filler because they know everybody that they see who has had filler. And I have to explain to them, no, you know everybody that you see who's had bad filler.
Yeah.
Because filler shouldn't be like that. If you have good filler, the people who see you should say, you look rested. Did you go on vacation?
Yeah, that's the ultimate compliment. It's
Right,
like,
right.
You look really good. I can't pinpoint it, but you look good.
Right. They shouldn't be going, did you get something done?
Yeah.
No, they should be going, well, oh, wow, you look rested. You're doing something right these days.
Yeah.
And then it's your choice if you want to keep your secret or if you want to tell people what you did, then you get to make up your mind.
Yeah, that's your call. Exactly. Yeah. What is a common... what are the most common areas that people get filler?
Well, I would say the most common, maybe misconceived area is people who come in wanting tear trough filler. They come in wanting to have the dark circles under their eyes filled, and we have to regroup and back up because really the issue when you have bags under your eyes, shadows under your eyes, most commonly, the issue is actually in your cheeks and not in your tear troughs. And so we have to back up and look at the mid-face and say, well, we can help you with your concern, but you don't want us to put filler directly in your tear troughs without having first fixed what's going on in the mid-face because we lose volume as we age. We all do. And this is where we lose it from, is in that cheekbone and in the fat pads that overlie the cheekbone. And if we put that volume back, often that alone will support the tear trough area, and you never even put any in the tear trough. So that's a place where we get a lot of people coming in. They've kind of been, watching the TikToks or the Instagrams, and they don't necessarily understand what's the best use of the filler to give the result that they want.
Yeah.
Another common area, we do a lot of lips. We actually do a lot of times our filler patients actually end up being biostimulator patients instead of filler patients. My
What's that?
biostimulator is an injectable like Sculptra or Radiesse.
Oh.
It's injected very similarly to filler, but it doesn't give you an immediate volumization. It instead turns on your own collagen synthesis. So it triggers your own body to make collagen so that you maintain your own volume and rebuild, which gives you a very natural result. And it's not only natural in that your body's putting it kind of where you want that collagen, but also in that it's gradual. So you have the treatment done and your results happen over the next 4 to 6 months. So you don't go from point A to point B in one day.
Yeah.
You get this gradual thing, and that is something that a lot of people really desire. So that's another way we can keep our treatments really, really easy and natural, and also has a side benefit of having a really good effect on your skin quality because it builds and boosts that collagen that's actually in your skin as well.
That's interesting.
So
I like that. Well, and I mean, it's also not even just because I've had lip filler from you guys before, and it is not like nobody notices. Like you said, they might be like, "Oh, like you look good." Like I don't know. They might notice if you see them that day when it's still a little swollen.
Well, yeah, you do
But
have
that's
some
about
swelling,
it.
and of course there can be some tattletale signs.
Yeah.
Like you could get a bruise or you could have swelling or things that the people who might see you in the next 3 to 5 days will notice.
Yeah.
But once that settles down,
Yeah.
then you should be able to have your discreet refresh.
I love it. I can't imagine not having just a little bit in there.
Yes.
I think people, I didn't even tell my boyfriend right away. Like he noticed when the swelling, of course, when I got home, but like he, I think, had the misconception like, oh my gosh, you're going to look totally different.
Yes.
But like, that's just not the case.
And that's where it's really important, and that's why we take the time to do the consults and to listen to what the patients want, because many people are afraid of filler because of what they see on some of these TV shows with these people who have way overfilled lips.
Yeah.
Well, that scared me off too.
Yeah.
But often what we're really looking for is for that hyaluronic acid filler to provide hydration and get those little lip lines that start to develop as we age, to give you a more defined border so that your gloss stays where it's supposed to.
Yep.
And just to give you back your lips from 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Because again, that volume loss that's happening in our lips too, not just our cheeks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and I think another misconception that I hear a lot is with Botox specifically, people think, well, I don't want to start getting it because once I start getting it, I can never stop getting it ever. And I'm like, that's just not really true.
Well, I mean,
you'll want to keep getting it.
In fact, it is not true that once you start, you absolutely have to continue.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of people do want to continue once they start because they like it so much and because it's refreshing. The best things about Botox are people saying, we do a lot of school teachers because the kids are, why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? And the teacher's like, I'm not mad. I'm tired of the kids always thinking I'm mad at them when I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Same thing happens in relationships. People come in and say, we had a patient last week who came in and said that her husband told her she needed to get it again because she was starting to look mad at him again.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So,
honey, go get some Botox. It'll make you look happier.
But it can also have the effect of opening up the eyes and brightening the eyes, which makes you look more alert and more attentive.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of nice little things that can happen.
Well, I saw a study, which tell me if this is true or not, or I don't know where I saw it, online, of course, but it was twins, and one twin got Botox like off and on, just not consistently, but off and on in her 30s and 40s, and the other twin never got it ever, and it was a huge difference.
Yes. Well, and that study is a really good study, and it not only looks at how they looked at the end of the 10-year period when the one had been getting it and the other hadn't, but it also looks at they had the one who had been getting it stop getting it, and then looked at her again in several years and compared and what she had done over those 10 years. Not only did it make her look and feel better during the time she was getting it, but looking at her, I can't remember how many years later it was, maybe 3 years later, she was still light years younger than her twin
Yeah.
in appearance because her skin just hadn't been trained to have those lines for that long. You know, she
Yeah.
was starting to develop some lines and some marks, but it wasn't. It was still a huge difference even after she quit.
Yeah.
So there you go. Even if you do quit, you will still have done yourself favors.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. And I'm sure you guys offer free consultations.
Yes, our aesthetic consultations are always free because of this conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
Many people are fearful. Many people have misconceptions. Many people just come in and they're like, I don't have any idea what I need. And I don't charge for a consult because I don't want any patient to ever feel pressure, bound, obligated. You know, most places that do charge for their aesthetic consults, you know, maybe they charge $150 and they'll apply that to any service that you get.
But then you feel like you have to get something.
And there have been a lot of pressure from the industry on me to charge that too.
Yeah.
But I still dig my heels in and say, no, I want the patient to feel comfortable knowing they can come, ask all the questions they want, and not feel like they got $150 riding on the desk that they have to commit to something that we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I think it really makes people a lot more comfortable.
Takes the pressure off.
Yeah, there's no people are going to do the things they want to do whether I have their $150, you know, on lockdown or not. And I had a patient who came in and she really wanted to do a skin tightening treatment. She wasn't a great candidate for it. She had a combination of her age. Our collagen does stop responding as vigorously as we get a little older. So once we get past 70, 75, it's not a wise choice of your investment to spend your money on doing a collagen-based energy skin tightening treatment. It's just not going to have the response you want.
Yeah.
Throw in a couple of medical conditions, something you're on some chronic anti-inflammatories for, and it's really not a good choice.
Yeah.
And throw in how much laxity you have. You know, there is an amount of laxity that a non-invasive treatment can achieve reversing, but there's a point at which you're asking too much of the collagen, and the only option is for you to consider going to get a consult for a facelift or surgical intervention. And I felt, I was glad I didn't have to deal with, and she didn't have to deal with, and she didn't have to have the stress of, I've got money on the table, and the thing I wanted to do, they're telling me I shouldn't do. Now, then I'm either deciding to refund it, or I don't want to pressure somebody. I don't want to have to come up with other options that weren't even what you came in here for.
Yeah.
Just to use your deposit. That's just bad business in my mind.
Yeah.
So
I think that's good. And I think it's good that you do the consult so that because people know what they're not confident about and but they don't know exactly what that's going to entail. It's nice to have the experts that can be like, okay, like you said with the cheek versus the under eye.
Right.
Like that you want this fixed, but it's not necessarily, that's not the problem.
Exactly. Sometimes the symptom is different from the cause, and you have to go back to the foundation instead of the paint and the stucco to get to the cure.
Yeah. So do you think, and I probably already know the answer to this, but is one of the best parts of your job the rewarding feeling when you see people just get way more confident after?
Yes. I mean, when we have people cry from happiness because of what they see when they look in the mirror, there's no bigger reward from that. Some people have, a lot of people are like, well, this is just vanity. But for a lot of people, it's not.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's a lot more impactful on their self-esteem. It really is way more powerful than just vanity. So
I could not agree more. I think I agree with that from plastic surgery to aesthetics to anything. If it makes you more confident and builds your self-esteem, like by all means, do it. Go for it.
Well, and the other thing, you ask what is the most rewarding part of our day, and that made me think immediately of another part of our practice that we haven't even talked about yet, which is our feminine wellness vaginal rejuvenation treatments. And these patients, many of them have so much pain, discomfort, and issues with urinary leakage as well as sexual function. And these are the patients who cry when they come back in and tell us the changes. We treat a lot of people who have postmenopausal tissue breakdown and loss of elasticity. We treat a lot of people premenopausal who've had several babies and now they have laxity and leakage. We also treat a condition called lichen sclerosis, which is actually one of my favorite and probably the least known thing that we're treating. But it's a condition that affects the skin of the pelvic floor. And the only other treatments are, many of them are hormonal and a lot of people can't take them. These women suffer. They are in pain every day. And our laser treatment can reverse it. And it's an amazing thing. Whether it's just that they can wear their clothes and not feel uncomfortable from the rubbing and the chafing, to having a successful, sexual relationship with their partner, it's a life-changing treatment. And that's something else that we just want more people to know about and to know. Come ask the questions. If we don't think you're a good fit, we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
There's no obligation. You just come learn about it and find out if it's right for you. People don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. I can see it being a taboo thing to talk about.
It's totally taboo.
Yeah.
You can't even run an ad in a lot of places. We try to put an ad about urinary leakage only, leaving everything else out. On the inside of the bathroom doors in the women's rooms, those little posters.
In the women's bathroom?
And we got canned for it.
Well, you can run that in our magazine anytime you want.
We did, don't worry.
Oh my gosh,
but there are so many people in the world who are just still uncomfortable talking about anything of that. And it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And you certainly can't get it out on social media.
Yeah.
It just goes down
they'll block your
we've been in the
page.
gray in the gray jail or whatever you call it.
Oh my gosh.
For that. So
I love that you talked about that, because you guys really do have such a plethora of different services that you offer. And you have such an incredible team, which I know you're so proud of.
Well, I am. My team could not be better.
Yeah.
We're a team of women for women. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I hear more than anything else from my patients and clients and my feedback and reviews and so forth is how warm and welcoming my crew is. And it's because they love each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's a hard thing to have 12 women all working in the same place and all loving each other, and building each other up and supporting each other.
But y'all do it.
But they're a rock star crew.
Well, it's so cool because every time I call to make an appointment, they're like, well, who do you want to see? And I'm like, literally any of them are totally fine. Like, isn't that great that you don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to see that one? Like,
well, and we absolutely have clients who have preferences.
Sure.
And we have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But we also don't mind sharing, so I'm always happy to.
I'm like,
I love
first
it.
available.
All right, I love it when I get the chart and that's been the last, 6 visits have been with 4 or 5 different people.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's because it's fine. It's always fine.
That just speaks to how incredible your team is. I love that. You guys are just fun to be around. Like the whole office, when you come in, it's just extremely welcoming and, you just feel at home.
Well, thank you. That's definitely one of our goals.
Yeah.
The first goal obviously is to give the highest quality in care and results that we can to every patient that walks in the door. And then the second goal is, I don't know, they're neck and neck. If you keep your people happy and you take good care of your people and you have good people, then the other automatically follows. So which one is the chicken or which one's the egg?
Well, you seem to be doing a fabulous job at both.
Well,
so congratulations.
Thank you. They mean the world to me.
Well, and congrats on 16 years. What a milestone.
Can you believe it?
I can't. It makes me feel a little old because I definitely remember clearly when you guys opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be at the Sweet 16 party.
And we've been in the mags since
literally
the very day one of our business.
Oh, God, a long time. Because we're celebrating 20 years next year, so we're just a couple years ahead.
Yeah, I missed the first issue.
Yeah.
When I had my family practice, we were not in the first issue. I think we started in the second issue. And then
we'll just round it to say the entire time.
Give me credit.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe I can run 2 ads in one magazine and catch up or something.
There you go. Well, Dr. Summer, always such a pleasure to chat with you. And be sure you can find them on social media at Lewisville Laser.
LewisvilleLaser.com is our website.
Okay.
And then Lewisville Laser is our
Instagram.
In Instagram, it's Lewisville Laser and Aesthetics.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, similar. So you
And they
start
have-
typing it, you should find it.
They have a great social media. I don't know who runs that. but
We've got a new girl.
She does
is
great.
bright as a new penny, and she's doing a great job with it. It's
Y'all
been the
have
best
some funny stuff on there.
We try to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's informative yet also funny. It checks all the boxes.
Good. Well, thank you for that feedback. I'll
Yeah.
be sure and tell Lucy you said so.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Dr. Summer. And as always, you can find Forsyth Mags on Instagram as well, at Forsyth Mags, and online, forsythmags.com, where you can read all of our content, including some awesome content about Lewisville Laser and aesthetics. And that's it. That is a wrap for this episode. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.